Look, this exact Meta ads funnel made me $2 million in agency sales. And in this video, I'm going to break it down so you can just copy it for your agency, okay? Now, if you're like most other agency owners, you probably rely on inconsistent and unpredictable channels like content, cold email, or referrals, where you're getting 2 or 3 clients one month, 0 in the next month, or even 20 clients one month, and then 5 or 6 the next month. The point is, these channels are inconsistent. And if you relate to that, if you feel like you're getting inconsistent clients, then please watch this video in full, because the funnel I'm about to show you is the same one that I used to close over 200 clients last year. And the best bit is that month after month, the consistency of these clients coming in was the exact same. So you're going to learn this funnel, which not only attracts qualified prospects, but it nurtures them and pre-sells them before the call. So it doesn't make getting the clients on the call easy. It also makes closing them easy too. And so by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how to implement this funnel into your own agency and sign 10 to 20 new clients a month. So let's get into it. Okay, so here is a bird's eye view of the full 200K a month funnel that we used to scale Paid House, my agency, last year. Now, this might be the situation that you find yourself in, right? You're posting a ton on LinkedIn or YouTube or Instagram, or you're sending out a lot of automated or manual outreach, whether that's cold email or whatever. Or you are relying on referrals or word of mouth, or even worse, you are running paid ads, but you're running them to lead forms or just your website. There's no real funnel to it, okay? That is the piece that's missing. And then you're trying to close these people onto your 5K a month, 4K a month, 9K a quarter package, and you're struggling. And the reason is because there's just no component when it comes to nurturing these prospects. This isn't going to be a video where I just tell you to go and run ads, right? I know you've heard me say that hundreds of times before. This is a video where I'm really going to show you how to take a complete stranger and take them through a series of web pages, essentially, and actually convince them that you are the exact person they need to work with and that they need to give money to. And so this is the funnel that I used to scale. And the way it works is we primarily use Meta ads. The reason is because Meta ads are just the best source of traffic in 2026. I'm sorry. I'm not going to turn this into a Meta ads shill video, okay? But let's face it, okay? In terms of just ad platforms, there is no other ad platform that's going to get you the quality of traffic for as cheap as Meta can, okay? We are attracting our ICP literally just using broad targeting. So everything comes down to the ads and what we're saying in the ads and who we're talking to. So that's really the only thing that we need to focus on. And then the most important part is that we're nurturing these people with a funnel. I'm going to show you the funnel in a second, but we're hitting them with email sequences, manual outreach, retargeting ads. A funnel doesn't just mean a website. A funnel means just the whole big picture of what we're doing with these prospects. It leads us to having significantly higher close rates, right? Our close rate on live calls was around 31%, which is really good. 1 in 3 people that we're getting on the phone with are paying us money. That's very, very, very scalable. And I want the same for you and your agency. Let's jump into the funnel here. First things first, as I said, we're driving traffic with Meta ads. Now, of course, you can replace this. You can replace this if you have a huge Instagram organic following, if you just don't want to run ads, whatever. This video will still be useful to you. But in my opinion, in 2026, Meta ads, they are just the easiest way to drive traffic. You can start driving traffic with them tomorrow, in an hour. As soon as you switch them on, boom, eyeballs are flowing to your pages, your landing pages, and your offers. If you want to know a little bit more about how I recommend you set up your creative and your ads, check out some of the other videos I have on this channel. I have one where I literally dive into the exact ads that you need to run for Meta. Either way, we are driving traffic to a funnel page. And this, my friends, is an example of what a good funnel page looks like in 2026. Now, what you're going to immediately realize is that it's pretty short, and that is a good thing, okay? If we have an obscenely long funnel, right, you might be used to seeing websites and landing pages that you're just scrolling, right? They're super long. If we do that, we are giving our prospects an out. What we want them to do, to be clear, is to watch our VSL. I recommend 99% of you run VSLs. If you're the face of the business and you're in the ads, then it makes sense for you to be in a VSL on this page as well, explaining the offer. We want them to watch our VSL. So if we just give them a ton of other stuff to do, we've got embedded YouTube videos in the funnel, we've got like all this long copy on the funnel, they're going to be busy doing that and not busy watching the damn VSL, which is the most important part. You know, if people watch our VSL, we should be selling them so much to not only the point where they book a call, but to the point where they get on that call and they are already as good as closed, okay? That is what we want our VSL to do. And again, I have another video on this channel about how to make a VSL based on my own experience making one that has made us over $2 million, but I digress, okay? So we want a VSL, we want an ICP call out. So on the funnel somewhere, typically above the headline, you're going to say something like local businesses, kitchen remodelers, plumbers, e-com brands, agency owners, SaaS businesses, Series A funded businesses, financial investment firms, real estate investment firms, whoever the hell it is you're targeting, because you can pretty much target anyone, any business that does 1 to 50 million a year on Meta. You want to call them out. Be direct. Make sure that you repel anyone who is not these people, and that anyone who is these people, you really get them locked in. Next, we want the headline. So the headline is going to have a couple of things on it. We want to call out our ICP in the headline. We want to call out a benefit in the headline. We want to call out ideally a time frame in the headline, and we want to have some kind of a unique mechanism as well in the headline. So there's a lot to fit in, I know, but you can distribute some of this between the headline and the subheading. It doesn't all have to be in the headline, but you really do need to get these things across pretty quickly as soon as someone lands on the page. So this is the funnel I'm running for my own consultancy, and I literally say, we will install our $2 million meta ad system into your agency in 14 days so you can sign clients consistently. ICP, agency. Benefit, sign clients consistently. That's the core claim of what I do is introducing consistency, predictability, and scalability into my clients' businesses. Time takes us about 14 days to launch our ad system. Unique mechanism. Well, it's our $2 million meta ad system. Okay, maybe I need a better name. Hit me in the comments if you've got an idea, but that's just what we're running with so far. And then in the subheading as well, you can introduce risk reversal. Risk reversal is of course optional. You don't have to have a guarantee, but that is typically where I would put that. If you don't have risk reversal, hear me out. This is really interesting. So risk reversal doesn't just mean a guarantee. It can actually just mean you basically bringing to the forefront, bringing to light the things that they will be able to avoid should they work with you. So for example, if we read the whole thing, we'll install our $2 million meta ad system into your agency in 14 days. You can sign clients consistently without having to post hours of organic content, having to send 1,000 cold emails a day, having to beg your clients for referrals. Those are all things they will have to no longer do should we work with them. And so that is a kind of risk reversal. So I would just call this without phrases. I would use those if you don't want to have a risk reversal guarantee. That's what I see work best in the subheading. And then in terms of the VSL, not going to go through this, but a couple of things that you can see. It's short as hell. Short VSLs win when you're targeting other businesses on Meta. Business owners are busy. Okay, they do not want to sit around and watch your 30-minute VSL. I typically see that working better for B2C. So when you're targeting consumers, because they have so much skepticism and fear and so much time on their hands, that kind of long VSL and that consumption is really, really good. With B2B though, it's really just getting across your offer, your pricing, very important. So you disqualify unqualified people, your offer, your case studies, your process, your unique mechanism. Again, I've covered this all in another video, which you should watch after this one. Then obviously a clear button to get started, and the CTA should be consistent all throughout this page, by the way. So every button should say the same thing. Some logos, always good. I see that in a lot of funnels. I use it in my funnels, so you should probably use it too. And then an application. I'm currently using iClosed. Again, they are not sponsoring me. I just like their tool, iClosed.io. I'm going to leave a link to my affiliate code in the description should you want to use it, but it's basically just kind of Typeform and Calendly had a baby. Instead of wiring two tools together, you can just use this because the calendar will automatically disqualify people before they book in. So I think it's just a lower friction way to get people to book in, but there are still much bigger companies than me who still use Typeform. Typeform is a fantastic way of doing this, but the point is you need to have some kind of form on your page so you disqualify bad prospects and qualify good prospects. We can get into that in a second. Some social proof. I don't think you need to go crazy here, to be honest. I think most people just post highly relevant social proof and just post a bit of it. Don't go crazy. And then finally, FAQs. FAQs get a ton of consumption, all right? If you use a tool called Microsoft Clarity, which you should, this is a tool that allows you to record sessions. So you record what people do on your website. You're going to see a ton of consumption on these FAQs. People love scrolling down and clicking on the FAQs. You got to remember, people are not in like a setup like this when they're going through your funnel. They're like, oh yes, let me go progressively through the funnel and see no. They're sitting on the toilet. They're outside. They're on the train. They might not be able to even watch your VSL. That's why VSL play rates are typically around 20%. That is 1 in 5 are even playing the damn thing. That should mean that we should have to lose another 80%. So we don't want to just have the VSL on the page. We want to have some other stuff that can actually sell them into booking a call. So if they don't watch the VSL, they're still going to be able to come down here and see what our guarantee is, how quickly we get results, how much they have to invest, will the lead quality be good? Like all of these things are selling them pretty much because they're giving them confidence enough to take action and book a call with us. This is a real hack. Now, in terms of the application form, this is a pretty basic thing. So contact info, obviously number one, we want to get their details as quick as possible. Why? Because we want to have setters dialing and texting and emailing anyone who opts in. So anyone who opts in, we want to add them to our newsletter, and we want to have a setter who texts them and phones them. If you don't have a setter, just get your VA to text them and buy them a phone number. So like you just buy them a phone number. It's not hard. You can use a million tools to do that. And obviously US number if you're targeting the US, a UK number if you're targeting the UK. So it makes sense. And that's going to get a much better reply rate. And the idea is obviously if they haven't booked in themselves, you book them in as soon as they give you their contact details. That's going to be huge for you. Then obviously, are they in your niche? Yes or no? If no, then application ends. If yes, then what's their monthly revenue, then probably one service-specific qualifying question like what's your marketing spend, or whatever is relevant to you in terms of your service and your industry and your niche. If they are qualified, then you can either use a tool like iClose where they'll just be able to book, or you can use Typeform and actually embed your calendar. Or if you don't use any of those tools, then you'll have to send them to a separate page where their calendar is chilling on there. But that's why I don't like using GHL or anything like that, because I want to minimize drop-off. So my funnel only has 2 pages. If I had to send them to another page where they had to book a call, that would be a 3rd page. Guess what happens between pages? Drop-off, loading times, etc., etc. It's not ideal. And then of course, if they book, then they're going to go to a page with a pixel. If they are unqualified, then what I like to do, depending on how unqualified they are, if they're like not making any money, then you can just straight up route them to the end of the application. If they're making a bit of money and they might be able to buy something, maybe on a payment plan or a lower retainer or whatever, just tell them the price like very directly and ask if it's within their budget, yes or no. If no, no harm done, application ends. If yes, then I will still let them book a call. At this stage, it will be with you, but if you have a setter, I would book them in with your setter, and then make sure you're sending them to a page without the pixel. So you do not have your Meta ads pixel on the page, so therefore you're not training Meta to go after those unqualified people, okay? If you have any questions about this, if you're unsure about how this works, and I've just said a load of heebie-jeebie to you, I would just book a call with me and I can just explain how this works, and we can see if it's a fit for you, if you want help with this. Because if you don't know how this works at this stage, then I would not recommend doing Meta ads by yourself. But I digress. Now, once they have booked a call, we want to go to the thank you page, obviously. Okay. And this is an example, kudos to myself, of a good thank you page. We want to have, again, a headline. This time the headline is screaming at them, wait, don't leave the page. Your call is not yet confirmed. We want them to do a couple of things before they leave the page. Number 1, watch this video here. This video is basically going to say what I'm saying right now. Hey, your call's not confirmed. If you do not do the following things, we are going to cancel your call. Number 1, please show up to the call in a quiet environment, at your desk, at a laptop, not in the car, ready to go. Number 2, please confirm the meeting event on your calendar so that we know you're coming. If you do not do this, we will cancel your call. We have a high demand. You must confirm the meeting and say, yes, I am coming. Otherwise, we will explicitly cancel the meeting. Got to make that very clear. Number 3, please watch some of the FAQ videos down below. We call these breakout videos, so that you can understand about our offer, and so that we just make the most use of each other's time on the call. These will answer some really important questions like, what's the cost? Will this even work for me? All of that will be answered. And then finally, number 4, please check out some client case studies, okay? So that you know what we do and what we've done in the past, okay? That's what I would say in that video. And that is how a thank you page should operate. Now, some secret sauce. I was referencing this earlier. Please make sure you install Microsoft Clarity onto your page, onto your funnel, whether you're using ClickFunnels, GHL, Perspective. By the way, it doesn't matter what you use. That's why I'm not going into this. If you're interested, I do use Perspective funnels, but it doesn't matter. All funnel builders are the same. One thing I will say is that if you're selling to like 8-figure brands or 8-figure software companies or stuff like that, you can't get away with using these standard funnel builders, in my opinion. You need to go up market to Framer and Webflow, one of those two, because you need to make something that's extremely aesthetic and professional. Because if you're selling to that level of company, like, these funnel builders ain't going to cut it. So if you're an e-com and you're trying to sell to 10 million a year brands and you're using ClickFunnels and you're wondering why it's not working, I would strongly suggest that might be a reason why it's not working. If you have Microsoft Clarity on your site, this is just going to give you really useful information. It's going to show you session recordings. You're going to see what people are doing on your site for 8 minutes. No idea. Probably watching a VSL, actually. You're going to be able to obviously get really accurate data on unique users, page visits, all of that good stuff. And you're also going to be able to see heat maps. So where the hell are people clicking and what they're doing? Very useful, because if your ad metrics look good, but no one's applying when they hit a page, this is going to give you an indication as to maybe why. And then finally, some secret sauce. One feature that iClose, the software I mentioned earlier, has is it's got this thing called Lift, which is this kind of pop-up thing here. I know GHL has its own native version of this. So if you're on GHL, you can use that. But if you're not, I would recommend using this. It massively increases the CTR as opposed to people just clicking through your calendar. If this pops up, it's just going to grab their attention and add some urgency and prompt an action, okay? And then on the thank you page, this is a little bit of secret sauce. Again, I don't see anyone else talking about this. I think I may have invented this. Let me know if I have. But you can create a pop-up which on the thank you page again pops up and says, hey, add the event to your calendar. This will open up Gmail, and then send them to Gmail, because if they booked a call, you will have just sent a Google Calendar invitation to them via Calendly or iClose or whatever your calendar you use, and get them to say yes. Again, the reason we want to get them to say yes is because it massively increases the likelihood of people showing up if they have actually committed to the call, and it's going to allow them to get their own reminders and stuff like that on their side. So that's a bit of sauce for you. Check that out. And then once we have secured the call, we now want to shift all of our efforts from sort of marketing to sales. The way we do this is firstly with an automated email sequence. Okay, email 1 is a welcome email. Email 2 is sort of a core question or a core objection handle. So for example, you could take one of your FAQs and answer them in email 2. Same thing for email 3. Email 4, we're setting expectations. So hey, this is how long it takes, right? Because we don't want people coming to the call who don't know this stuff. Otherwise, it's just going to be one of those calls that you get on and they're like, oh, I want results in 2 weeks. It's like, oh, dude, you should have canceled the damn call. I don't want to speak to you. You got to value your time here. Don't just let people book in for the sake of getting booked calls on the calendar. A booked call literally means nothing. The only thing that is important is a qualified prospect who will buy, if you just answer some questions. That's really what we want to optimize towards. Email 5 is, again, answering another specific objection. Email 6 is, what is the worst case scenario of working with you? What is the worst case? That is what people are thinking about as they go through this process, as they're about to hop on a sales call with you. So just answer it in plain. Hey, the worst case scenario is you invest 5K, 7K, we don't get your results and we refund you, or we work for free for a month and then we leave you with all of these things, right? A roadmap. So what are the next steps to success? Again, another FAQ or objection handle. Then finally, email 9 is some kind of an urgency email. Another major concept here is urgency throughout this whole funnel. Number 1 is education and number 2 is urgency. We need to educate them as to what our offer is, and then we need to tell them why they need it now. What are the market conditions right now dictate that your offer is something they need to immediately buy. Then manual outreach. Okay, we get a setter or a VA to text them straight away. This is an example text message that you could use if they booked a call. And again, if they haven't booked a call, you're going to use a different message. If you want to spice this up, you can send things like selfie videos, looms. If you are still finding that people are just not showing up warm enough to the call, you can escalate it. Okay, don't start with this stuff, but you can escalate it if you feel like you need to. And then of course, dialing them as well, and make sure you double dial them if they don't pick up the first time. And then finally, retargeting ads. These are some ads, not my ads, but just some example ads that I like, which you would basically start showing to people as soon as they have booked a call. Okay, if you want to see how I set these up, let me know in the comments. I'll make a whole separate video for retargeting ads. But you want to obviously start showing testimonials, Trustpilot reviews, YouTube videos, okay, all that good stuff to those people to really warm them up. And yeah, that is basically everything, ladies and gents. Hopefully that was useful. And now you understand the full funnel on how to nurture your prospects and pre-sell them before the call, okay? And you can send this, again, this is going to be organic traffic, paid traffic, it doesn't matter, it's just going to work, all right? So if this was useful and you actually want to implement a funnel like this with my direct help, either on a consulting basis or me and my team will just do it for you, then book a call using the link below. And I will just explain our entire process, and we'll also give you a bit of an action plan for how you can crush it in 2026 with paid ads for your agency. If not, just keep sticking around, enjoying the videos, and I will see you in the next one.